Thomas Becket died in the year 1170. He was an incredibly wonderful man, very intelligent, very straightforward. He did waver for a while in his life, turning away from the truth, but he returned and repented of that. He was good friends with King Henry II, and Henry appointed him Archbishop of Canterbury. And Thomas warned him before that it might be a difficult problem because he could not accept all the intrusions that King Henry was making into the laws and dealings with the church. And so it happened that Thomas refused to remove censures that he had put on archbishops who had, or bishops rather, who had wavered from the truth. And Henry was extremely upset with him. Got to the point where he said, "Who will rid me of this troublesome priest?" And 4 knights one night murdered him in his own cathedral in Canterbury. Within 3 years, Thomas Becket was canonized a saint, very short time after his death. And another king, Henry VIII, many years later, desecrated his tomb, scattered about his relics everywhere because he was so like Henry II and so opposed to everything Thomas Becket would have stood for. We celebrated today the Feast of the Holy Innocents who were martyred for Christ. We celebrated the Feast of St. Stephen, the first martyr in the church, and now Thomas Becket today, with another martyr in the church. Jesus came to us to give us the guarantee of everlasting life, and that is the goal of all of our lives, to one day reach heaven, where is a place of happiness and peace with God. And no matter what we may suffer on this earth, it's temporary, and compared to the glory of heaven, it's amazing. And so today we again thank God for the gift of his Son, who promises us eternal life in eternity, and ask him to help us to remain faithful to all that Jesus said and taught us. The commandments are very clear: love God and love your neighbor, and we'll find ourselves in eternity. So today we thank him in the midst of the glory of Christmas, the reality of death. It means that death is not the end. It's a whole new beginning in eternal life with God, as Thomas, St. Stephen, and certainly the holy innocents who didn't even understand are with God today. Let us stand and offer our prayers and petitions.